Behold, traveler, drinking glasses, no? Look again. These are vessels for everything I want to do before D&D this week. Into each of them I will pour a measure of my spiritual essence. This brew represents my time, energy, and focus. This one is world building. Player character arcs. Homebrew systems. I better make a few more of those. Battle maps. Encounter design. Can't neglect that one. I seem to have run out of DMing juice.
Every week, without fail, I bite off more than I can chew. When that happens, I feel like this. For tasks with unlimited potential prep, like DMing, my ADHD demands that I harbor grand designs. The advice most people give you when you've got ADHD and a brain full of ambitions is
slow down.
That could help, but fuck that. Today we're going over tools that let you do the cool stuff in less time. World building is an infinite spiral. If you're making it, you probably think it's cool. And if you have ADHD, that means because you think it's cool, you have secret reserves of power for this specific thing until you don't. Even if you do manage to write down every cool thought you have about your game world, keeping them organized and actually having access to them during prep and play is so hard. You would need a personal assistant to organize everything into a usable wiki. Personal assistant. Not a sponsorship. It does what I need really well, but it could be a sponsorship. That profile picture really brings out your eyes. Call me. It's like OneNote meets a wiki, meets a relational database manager, meets a Pinterest board, meets scheduling software. I don't really use all that stuff, but it's a nice place to capture all the chaotic energy in my brain and display it in a way that's useful. I have a wiki for my game world with all the gods, cultures, factions, holidays, and food, and it's all linked together. And since it's all here in one place, no more fumbling for that elusive scrap of paper at the table, unless that's just a part of your mystic charm. I still use my bullet journal because I will never betray pencils. But I've been using Notion to track anything that can't fit on a single page. And now, a moment of silence for my bulky DM binder. I have a link to Notion in the video description. Everything I've talked about is in the free plan. Number 2, player character arcs. If I prep a whole session and there's nothing in there reacting to what the players have said and done, I don't think that's a very good session. It's also way more work. But sometimes tracking everything I need to do that and keeping it on hand, it's really messy. To accomplish this, before each session, I implement the most hardcore, the most cutting edge, the most intense Dungeon Master technology. Index cards. I track where players are at on the table. I put their card in a corresponding place on my DM screen, fold it right over the top there. On it is the player, their character's name, any resources of theirs I want to track. The cards are in my eye line when I look at the players, so it links everything together in my brain in the moment. So later I'm not like, oh, that would have been a perfect time for their long lost evil twin brother to show up, but I freaking forgot. I didn't invent this method. I've heard it called box initiative, but I use it for way more stuff than initiative, so that's on me. Having such a small canvas for everything really challenges me to hone in on the most important information. I also use a journal spread that gets this done at the table and feeds into a loop that lets you use what happens at the table to prep the next game super easily. You could go check that out at patreon.com/ADHDM. I could use index cards for all 5 categories in this video, but then I wouldn't get to tell you about messing with the rules. D&D is crazy. There's an equal chance that your players could open a restaurant, distill moonshine, or steal a ship. It's natural to want rules that fit those situations specifically, but it would be nuts if all of those rules were in the Dungeon Master's Guide. I've run Curse of Strahd so many times. And let me tell you, the core rules for lycanthropy, vampirism, and other unsavory afflictions are pretty lame. Grim Hollow's transformations are amazing. I've used these rules a lot now, both as a player and as a DM. There's no better alternative to turning into a freaky monster. You know, it's coming up on spooky season, so you might want to check it out. I want to play an adventure with ships, sailing, the whole nautical experience. Ghosts of Saltmarsh looks pretty good. Let me check. Oh, there's no rules for ships. That's okay. Ships in space. Let's look at Spelljammer. Oh, well, okay. I think they're either. Slim pickings. Just a quick Google search. What do vehicle combat in 5e.
Don't you know that Wagon Duels is the perfect system for this? Stop homebrewing systems in 5e, you corporate shill. Just play an RPG you don't care about. I hope you catch fire.
Luckily, the designers over at Homie and the Dude were just as bummed out by this glaring gap in the rules. However, instead of complaining about it in a YouTube video, they designed a 250-page book that has modular rules for vehicle piloting, construction, combat, magic items, feats, NPCs for crew members. The Kickstarter went live on August 8th, but I got a sneak peek to try in my own games.
Sky Zephyrs. It's airships, baby. It's spaceships. It's probably even ground ships when the full rulebook comes out. You can use the rules you want to use and ignore the rest. It's a very clean system. Don't mind if I do.
If you are playing in my games, buckle up. Like literally, because it's vehicles. I want you to be safe. Because we're gonna have more vehicles per campaign than a Final Fantasy game. Do those still have vehicles? I haven't really played any since 9. These rules are too good not to use. Curse of Strahd, airship. Strixhaven, don't care, airship. Dungeon of the Mad Mage, we'll find a way, airship. There's also a companion website on the way where you can build ships and generate stat blocks and tokens at the same freaking time. That's insane. It reminds me a lot of the CopCon thingy for Lancer, which is one of the main reasons I love that game. I'm kind of mad that nobody's done this sooner. So mad, I just want to find a battle map for tonight's session. I spend so much time I don't really have finding the right battle maps and tokens, but I can't really skimp on it either. If I'm DMing on a virtual tabletop, this is what the players will be looking at for most of the night. I need it to fit the vibe. So I have 3 tools I use to accelerate the process. 2 of them are free, and the other one is like mostly free. Generating dungeon layouts in Donjon, I'll spell it out, is fast, and they work. They're not very atmospheric. It's not very good for nature scenes, but sometimes a blank canvas is exactly what the session needs. You do want something prettier. Lately I've been going to any image creator powered by DALL-E. Bing is an easy free one, and using the prompt top-down D&D battle map grid, then I describe a scene like dark, moonlit cemetery surrounding an impressive mausoleum, and cycle through the results until I find something that I really like. This can also be a time sink because AI generated stuff is a merciless dopamine loop. But maybe you haven't submitted to our AI Shadow Masters. Stay strong. In that case, 2-minute tabletop is where I go for maps 99% of the time. They're all awesome. I even go there for maps before planning anything else because they're so evocative and beautiful. I look at it and it makes me want to run an adventure there. So many of them are free or pay what you want, and the rest are like $1 or $2 a piece. There are new maps and tokens every time I turn around. So good. So we got maps, we got our new rules, we're keeping track of the PCs, and we've got all our world building organized in one place. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh no. Encounters.
Confound it! Why do I always save this for last? This is the single most important thing in the game, except for all the other stuff.
The obvious and really the most helpful answer is grab a pre-published adventure and take an encounter from there. But have you ever tried to read one of those things? The encounter itself is nested in like a description of a closet, and it points you to an appendix and references like 4 different stat blocks that aren't even in the book. Basically, any added step in a process like this is lethal. That's why I've said before, and I'll say again, the adventures over at the Arcane Library are perfect. I know Shadow Dark RPG is the new hotness, as well it should be, but I'm still using the 5e adventures from the website all the time. The location and what happens there are all described really concisely, and if you don't want to buy them, even though they're pretty cheap,
But I don't want to spend money.
you can get a free adventure for signing up to the Arcane Library mailing list, and it's a good one. There are also other ADHD-friendly adventures out there too, like this free one from Val over at Corkboards and Curiosities, which seems like it was edited with neurodivergent brains in mind. Well, would you look at that?
That's me.
Now I've got enough juice for everything. I'm gonna go full goblin mode on prep. I'm going to pretend to drink this, because it's not really potion, it's expired medicine. Wait, what if none of the players show up?
Then you'll want to watch this video right here.